Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy KSL GDBT, and I'm back with another. Oh my god, cringy YouTube intro out the way. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's dive right into it. That's what I said. uh, Normal shit, right? We got EuroJPY 4 hour. We had that break of structure yesterday already, coming into today. 4 hour break of structure. But for most of the day, I thought that maybe this 4 hour zone could contain us within. As you can see, by 7 a.m. this morning, 9 London, it was still bobbing around down here, so I wasn't really looking for the sells, right? I was always looking for the buys to play the M15 pullback, plus a deeper reaction from this 4 hour, like we got with this pullback, maybe a deeper pullback in, and then it comes back up, of which we did not get. Since I was not looking for sells, really also I don't think there was any high probability setup in here anyway. So yeah, I don't think I missed out on anything within here, honestly. Even if you were to try and force something out of here, it's sort of in 9:15 in the morning, around there. Yeah, maybe you would get in on this candle here. I don't know how far you would want to target as well, but you know, man, not looking for the iffy stuff, bro. You're honestly not looking for the iffy stuff, the unclear stuff, right? Semi-valid, but looking at the area that we're in, I would not have taken that, right? It would have been better if this setup was happening up here, right, where you do have a strong swing high, right? It makes a little bit more sense to look for the sell. But down here, not the best place, I'd say, right? It worked out, but it's a little bit iffy, man. And I don't like the iffy stuff, right? Because within the iffy stuff is where I make most my mistakes, right? So probably just stay away from the iffy stuff, save myself the headache and regret later on. USD, yeah, nothing interesting within here. We had a sell-off yesterday, pushes up a little bit into these buy to sell wicks. I don't trade buy to sell wicks, so nothing really for me within here, right? We had this M15 break structure. This was around 2, but during London we did have a valid sell setup, but according to my rules, not so valid, right? Depending on what the rules you're willing to bend and whatnot, but for me, at the very least, you would want to see a breaking close below this line here instead of like this wick up and then into here and down. I do want to see a strong wick close, which indicates the intention to sell, the way I view it. So nothing in there. We have a melt off going down, and then there is no valid buys going up because you would be trying to catch a falling knife, looking for buys here. Got burned more than once, so obviously I do avoid those. And tomorrow we might see a break of a swing low, right? So maybe consider looking for sells. Consider looking for sells, even though we are at a strong swing low, but the momentum just has been very bearish, and it did come down once, failed to create a new high, which indicates this low could actually be weak, right? So maybe it will break down. So if we do get something valid in terms of cells in a good area, right, like up here, or maybe let's say it doesn't reach here, right, it comes here, down, sweeps that high, right, and then sweeps this, which would be a strong liquidation, and then we get something like that. And then yeah, I'd be not too happy getting involved against a strong swing low, but this swing low did fail to create a high, which is an early indication that it may be weak. So if we do get something interesting within there tomorrow, then probably we'll take that. Mr. GBPUSD was very interesting, as you can see with this over here, but overall we did have a sweep of this POI slash small internal low there into this 1 hour POI, which is a valid pause in price, right here, valid pause in price. Actually, is it actually? Yeah, it pretty much is, because if you can look at this, went down, right, this went up, this created a low, you have a reaction from there, which is this downward candle, and then up. Not the strongest in the world, but it did get a reaction up, right, which shows that there were some orders in there. Now importantly for me, the session Tuesday, today's Wednesday, session would have started around here, 8:30 is there. So for me, right, coming to today, analysis happens around 8 for me, right, 8:30, whatever the case may be. But I was waiting for this IBOS, right, because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, we mitigate the 1 hour POI, right, 15 minutes, which is bullish, right, even if it's like internal or whatever. If the swing structure was still up there, it's still very decent price action, whether it's categorized as like internal or swing, whatever the case may be. But you can see it's bullish, right, it switches bullish right here. And so my first thought is, okay, this is the reaction, right, it swept the low, reacts down, right, it's a flip, it flips, supply flips to demand, right, this is demand, cool. And then because here's how I structure the rules, right, because we have an internal low, right, with price moving up here, coming down, going up, this is an internal low, right. If we go to the M5, it should be more visible. As you can see, price goes up, down, goes up again, creating this low, right. We have this internal low. Once we have this internal low, I wouldn't be taking a risk entry on this POI. I immediately switch to looking for an M5 minute confirmation entry, right, and we do not get one until price sweeps this POI over here, sweeps the POI, which invalidates the trade idea as a whole, right. Trade idea is invalidated, price moves up to mitigate this POI, even though it did not actually create a lot, it only got a change of character. Price then goes mitigates, right, this was the second POI I had over here. I had my second POI over here, even though it was a sweep POI, right, POI created after the sweep. This was the second POI. I'm looking for the exact same thing, a lower time frame, which is the M5 confirmation, and as you can see, you don't get that, it just pretty much melts right through it. And yeah, this saves you a loss, right. Have you bent the rules, try and get clever, take a risk entry here, or try and take a risk entry here thinking, this is where it should hold if it's going to continue up, Remember, the market doesn't have to do anything, you do. But your edge will dictate you wait, right? On the M5, I did have the patience. I waited, saved myself a loss, right? That's more of what we want to do. Save ourselves some losses, because saving those losses, end of the day, when those winners come in, they count more, right? You don't have to be paying back silly mistakes where you want to take a risk entry on here because it's a sweep flip, right? Not a sweep flip, but just a normal flip zone. So you save yourself a little bit, right? Instead of doing that, you save yourself. And then after that, yeah, pretty much had it melt all the way down. There was some USD GBP news at 2:30, which also is like a catalyst for it melting. Hence, also I do avoid entering anywhere near news events. Like, I used to trade them, and yeah, I don't trade them anymore for obvious reasons. You will fucking lose the whole time. You'll win once in a while, but you're gonna win once, confidence skyrockets, go all in on the next one because you are a guru now, and lo and behold, you will lose like 90% of the time. You'll actually lose. So anytime it's like near news or anything, even here it was news, just don't bother, man. It price is not respected at those points, right? It's when the most manipulation occurs. Even though I'm not like into it's not a conspiracy, it is true, but obviously it will mess with your psychology if you start thinking, oh, my price gets manipulated this and the next. No. Just avoid getting involved in news or entries near news, more especially if it's intraday trading like this, where you have like a very tiny stop loss. 13 pip stop loss is honestly nothing, and as you can see, one candle can literally blow right through it, even on the 1 minute, if I'm not mistaken. On the 1 minute, look at that, 3 candles blows right through 13 pips. This was literally after 2 as well. So yeah, just avoid news, save yourself a few pips, right? Those pips will actually count for a lot when your account size goes up, right? Remember, you don't do this for now. You do it so it's actually your plan of action, even when you have a huge account, right? Those small pips that you give up here, they count for a lot, man. So yeah, save yourself now by eliminating such tomfoolery so that you don't make those mistakes later, right? Easy one, I think. I'd say easy trade to avoid this one. I've been yapping for like 5 minutes about this, but it's also to just like get it through your mind, thick skull, right? That it's not worth it end of the day, risking unnecessarily. It's not worth it, man. It may feel good if you win, but remember that false confidence will come back and bite you and feel 10 times worse, because you're gonna feel dumb for losing money in such a way, right? That's been the whole shtick of this year. Really, it has been all about lessening mistakes, right? Because mistakes have been my Achilles heel for the longest of times. So yeah, I've noticed as I've been doing better in like mistake elimination, my results have been better, right, compared to last year. They have been better, man. So yeah, I think just making less mistakes does help. But there's still some more to be done, right, before we reach the point of consistency. Good consistency, right? Right now we have consistency, but it's pretty much a flat line, right? We want to see them gains, baby. And last but certainly least, it is least, man. Just the cat, bro. Not bad, not a bad pair, but Yeah, it's last on the list, isn't it? So anyway, yesterday I was saying we are within like this range, right? And I was not happy looking for buys within this area simply because we were like range bound, right? And so I held the same conviction today, right? Not really looking for buys. I was waiting for a swing break of structure down to start looking for sells. And yeah, we didn't get that. It just continued going higher. And also there's nowhere to really get involved in terms of high probability. So yeah, we lose nothing, man. If it's bullish and our outlook is waiting for the bearish, what's important, right, is waiting for the right signs, right? Not just coming in here trying to catch a falling knife in reverse, or because it's not falling, it's going up. I don't know. Trying to stop a rocket with your bare hands, something. I don't know. Don't have an analogy for that. But yeah, I think you don't go in willy-nilly on sells, right? Because it's in a range. You feel it's in a range. Remember, the market will do what the market does, and you don't know what the market does. You just follow the plan, and the plan says probably don't trade in these areas where it's kind of range bound. Don't trade buys, right? Because it probably will go down. And in the cases where it doesn't go down, it continues up, you don't lose because you didn't try and catch this falling knife. You don't lose. And also, it was no great setup for buys, right? I think the only great setup would have been in Asia session where we had this zone here. Not that one. This one here be mitigated again, right? Mitigated once, mitigated again, and maybe there was something good in there. Maybe, baby, you know. In terms of how we look at our trades, we try and find a strong liquidation within this leg, even though this is a strong liquidation of its own, because it did move up, sweep highs, whatever, come back in here and then look for the entry. But it's fucking 3 a.m, man. You're not up at 3 a.m, so it really doesn't matter what happens at 3 a.m, right? If it did not happen anywhere between 9 and 6 p.m, then it's none of my business, man. I can't come and cry and say, oh, it was a valid setup at 3 a.m. Are you mad? Niggas is sleeping at 3 a.m. I don't know, I just went off on a tangent. This is an unnecessarily long video, but yeah. Yeah, I'll meet again tomorrow and see how much more patience we've gained, because every day we gain a little bit more patience, right? Not taking dumb trades. This month ends tomorrow. We will end on a loss, I think like $30 loss, which is, I don't think it's even 0.5%. So this is an invalid month basically, because I did miss a whole chunk of it. But as I did promise, I will be making backtesting videos on the month and post them at some point before next week Monday, because Friday is the first, technically that's when a review day is, like the first of the month. But there's nothing to review, man, for the month, because we didn't do shit, man, which is bad. You pretty much lost a month in your forward testing, but I'll pay it back with the back testing. We'll pay it back, man. Can't let time go to waste, because at the end of the day, time waits for no man.